Hello, 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 hello. I have my mason jar here with me. I made myself a small cocktail. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? How you guys doing? I'm trying to set out so that my network is okay. Can you see me properly? Tunarevise notes na hii udaku. Oh my god, Kwani, my mouse has refused to work. What the hell is the problem with this thing? All right. Hi, how you guys doing? Oh, sorry. Oh my god. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Hey, waingo karibu sana waingo esinjoki tumefika, wacha tukunywe chai tukingoja main ikam. Hello. Oh, remember the drill. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, let me just remove my phone because I was live on Instagram. And now, okay. I was live on IG, and now I can see you guys are already here. You guys are already here. You guys are already here. Oh. Hey, Richie. Hi, Verana. How are you doing? How are you? How are you? Oh, my goodness. What's up? What's happening? Thank you so much for coming back, you guys. Asante sana to everyone who is from Instagram. Thank you so much for being here once again. I appreciate each and every one of you for your time this evening. Today, I even wore a dress shirt, okay? So you know it's about to be serious business. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Let them know we are live. It's about to go down. We're here to educate ourselves on this particular matter. Today's not going to be very long, okay? It's not going to be very long. It's going to be a really, we're just going to take like 1 hour here or less to speak about the subject. But like I told you, it is you guys I want to drive the conversation, okay? I want you guys to drive the conversation today because I want you to tell me, who do you believe? Do you believe the state? Do you believe DCI? Do you believe Desy? Do you believe Alfred Mutua? Do you believe Edgar Obare? Who is responsible for this mess that, for this predicament that Edgar Obare finds himself in? I've got myself my mason jar. Made myself a good call for this because we're going to need something stronger at the end of the day. Okay, how are you guys doing? Where are you watching from? Parenting abroad. I am very well. Maximilian Hodge, how are you doing? I can see why I'm going sexy Paula Gagalito already in the building. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by to take a look at our playlist. My name is Richie Voja. I want to welcome you wholeheartedly here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Karibu sana. It's good to have you back. So if you like what you see on this channel, remember to smash the like button, okay? And don't forget to interact with me in the comment section below. We are speaking about the Edgar Obare situation. He was arrested Thursday evening, right? And on that board, it was written. What was written there? Kisumu. He was arrested in Kisumu. Apparently, his residence is in Kisumu, so I believe maybe he was arrested there, and of course taken to the DCI headquarters in Nairobi. And I want to read for you. It's very sad when you involve yourself with politicians, especially if you're in a country like Kenya. For bloggers, I have seen this play firsthand. Okay, it's very unfortunate because you know what is going to happen. Okay, when you involve yourself with the mess that is Kenyans, Boniface Mangi once called them the scum of the earth. If you involve yourself in messes, these people are notorious and have been known. Records and history speaks for itself. When you see how politicians have, off their fellow politicians. Now imagine you as a blogger, somebody just disseminating information. As much as we are YouTubers, and of course there is that aspect of quote unquote TV, like you like to call it, it's very important to be very, very responsible. It's because you have to, let me tell you something, you cannot serve tea when you're dead. Okay, you have to be very, very responsible about how you disseminate your information. And I am very, I feel for Edgar. I really feel for him because at some point, so today he posted bail. By the information I got, he posted bail. He was live and said he wanted to take a break from social media. And sometimes that environment, like I was stating to people here, it's not easy creating this content, relaying this content like I'm putting it to you. Someday I will do, a setup and just show you what it takes for me to be able to relay this to you. But we are not here for that. So who do you believe? Do you believe Edgar Obare? Do you believe the lady? Do you believe the DCI? Because this is it was written. I was sent for information, and it was written. This is stemming from the case with Alfred Mutua. There was this lady who claimed she got pregnant by Alfred, and Alfred had, the governor of Machakos, if I'm not wrong, Alfred had been ignoring her, and that whole thread. I know most of you have seen the thread and how it has gone. It's very sad that a young man like Edgar is finding himself in the process between him and the law, and him and a vendetta against, or from someone who has, something to hide. Because let me tell you something, when you deal with politicians, it will never end well, okay? It's unfortunate, like that's the truth. It will never end well. When you deal with politicians, it never ends well. That is a fact we have to learn, especially in this country. In Kenya, if you deal with politicians and anything involving politicians, it never ends well. These are people who don't play fair. They play dirty against each other. You think they will play fair when it comes to poor or you? It's very, I think he was set up and he swallowed the bait. Parenting abroad and Brenda actually coming through with some comments here. Let's see. I think he was set up and swallowed the bait. Brenda says, I think he was set up and swallowed the bait. Like I said today, you guys are controlling this story today. You guys, it is you controlling the show, because I want to see your perspective. And then I will be very objective about my opinion, but I want to see your perspective. What do you think happened in this particular situation? Who do you believe? Do you believe the DCI? Do you believe Edgar? Do you believe Alpha Mutua? Do you believe Desy? Which one is it? Because I'm somebody who believes so much in conspiracy theories, okay? And I think at some point it's very, how do I call it? It's very murky. It's a gray area, especially with whatever he does, and the kind of content he creates. Even if he was set up, I do honestly believe at somehow, because before the tone of the lady was different, okay? She was demanding for support and child support because she was pregnant. Now it is seeming like she wanted to extort him. So which is which? And we have not heard from this particular lady, Desy. Nobody has heard from her. Nobody has heard her side of the story, apart from, this, whatever the conversation that, she shared with Edgar Obare on his platform, I hope he did his job as a blogger. There is no freedom. Show. Why is YouTube hiding my comments? There's no, people following community guidelines here, so there's no need to hide those comments. I hope he did his job as a blogger. Kenya, there is no freedom of journalism. If you blog contrary to what the ears want to hear, you are in shit. This is something everybody says they think it was a setup. In my opinion, like, I am so conflicted, because I'm like, okay, it involves a politician. There's always a red flag anywhere that a politician is involved, or anyone who has influence over a people. There's always a red flag. There's this particular lady who got pregnant by Alfred Mutua, and there's this side of the story too. Like, it's like there's four sides to this story. At this point, there's Edgar Obare side of the story, there's the lady side of the story, there's Alfred Mutua side of the story, and there's the DCI side of the story. So I'm going to go ahead and read this thing that was okay, so let me just read, because I said you guys are driving the conversation today, so let me just read this comments that you have put forth. I hope he did his job as a blogger, in case there's no freedom of journalism. If you blog contrary to what the ears want to hear, you're in shit. Nelly also says, also, I don't know what it takes to serve tea, so I hope his hands are clean in all this. There's that too, okay? There's that too. I hope his hands are clean too. There's always the doctrine of clean hands in the global. I think it's just international law, the doctrine of clean hands. You cannot go before a court and say, "Who mtu ananionea," while your hands are dirty. Okay, if you are equally not playing fair, then the law cannot side with you too the way you want it to. Okay, so there's that doctrine of clean hands. Like I also hope his hands are clean, Nelly, like you said. On Edgar is live today, he told us we don't. I think she was part of setting him up. Oh. Okay, parenting abroad. That is a very interesting perspective because like I said, there's four sides to this story. There's a side for the DCI, there's a side for Edgar, there's a side for Alpha Mutua, and there's a side for the lady who is allegedly pregnant. Because who has heard from her? Okay, because if you watch the language that she used to express her concerns to the blogger Edgar, and now that these charges are surfacing, who knows? Honestly, who knows what is happening? Because it smells like a setup to me too. But I want to be very objective about this, too close to the sun. Okay. There's another comment here. Edgar Obare is always running a losing battle. Mara Amebebo and Mara see kidnapping. Bro, leave the men in power and deal with Akina DJ. Oh my god, aren't you guys the proverbial jokers? Okay, I see Edgar Obare is always running a losing battle. Mara Amebebo and Mara is kidnapping. Bro, leave the men in power and deal with Kina DJ. Well, okay, that's equally another perspective. Okay, Brenda says, honestly, Edgar flew too close to the sun. It's this is equally very true because there's a time he wrote something about a journalist Ben Kitili, and Ben Kitili said, you need to learn about the Cybercrimes Act of 2018, which I'll be explaining to you in just a few minutes. The Cybercrimes Act actually involves us, people who disseminate information to you. If you're disseminating that information, best make sure that information is airtight. True. But I think at the end of the day, what is malicious, it ruins somebody's reputation or business or whatever, if it is something that is true, I don't think somebody should be punished for it. But at the end of the day, if we need to find this lady, because if she was 6 months pregnant last year, she must have delivered by now. Is it pregnancy is 9 months, right? If a pregnancy is 9 months, she must have delivered by now. Okay. And contrary to what the DCI was saying, when I saw that picture, why is it that you're hiding their eyes? Let me just ask the question today. I don't understand why you would hide their eyes while we already know these people. Okay, let's move on. Edgar said that he has no more respect to the DCI. Well, after you've been treated like that, who would have respect for any arm of the law that would nyanyasa you instead of opposing, like, it's utumishi kwa wote. See, the motto of the police in Kenya is utumishi kwa wote. If the motto of the police in Kenya is utumishi kwa wote, well, why is it that it is one-sided, where if you have money and if you have power, the law will favor you, and if you are mutumunyonge, then it does not go your way. Okay, well, let's have that conversation too. Okay, there's that. Edgar said he has no more respect for the DCI. It was live this morning, and lots of people told on Choku. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Bloggers in Kenya have to be extra careful because our Kenyan government doesn't like the truth. Black Diva, you are very right. That's absolutely correct. Okay, like I told you guys today, you guys are the ones driving this show. I want to know your perspective on this very matter. Here, nobody's going to prosecute you because it is an opinion. Okay, so Black Diva says bloggers in Kenya have to be extra careful. Let me tell you the story about a friend of mine. He was a very handsome young man. Oh my God, Roy was dark, Jaluo, tall, dark, and handsome dude. The real definition of JVC. Jaluo, very cute. So Roy was equally a blogger. And if you know the story about Roy Kohada Ogola, it will be very sad because if you look at the way he died, those are the things that motivated me to, continue creating content, because I was like, why would you end someone's life because they have information pertaining to a certain aspect of your life? Okay. Kohada Roy Ogola's life, you can Google him, by the way. I won't go into details about what happened to him, but he died in a suspicious road accident. Then in a very out place like Mbali and Nairobi, and then his body was brought to City Mortuary. There was a whole scandal about that, and it was very sad. Like, mourning my friend then, I was like, these are content creators, bloggers who one of the few who went on disappearing and being treated like, the scum of the earth, just because you have information that pertains to a certain subject that somebody is uncomfortable with. So for that instance, that is when I wept out. Well, a blogger can be killed because they know something that pertains, but it's in essence, if you look at it on both perspectives, like, okay, there's the law, and that's fine, but is the law supposed to favor one and oppress the other? That is the conversation we're supposed to have. Okay. Mimi Hapam Team Edgar, whether it's a politician or a normal person, T is T. Nancy Wendo, they say Mimi T is T. Oh my God. Okay, Nancy Wendo, that's equally a perspective. For me, I don't believe the papers 100%. Sometimes they edit a lot and shape conversation. That's very true. Bloggers give the whole tea, hence allowing room for two sides of the story. There's always two sides. Yes, Nelly, that's actually very true. You're actually speaking sense. But then the funny thing is, in this particular point, there's the DCI side of the story. I haven't heard from the lady herself. But then, when a case is in court, sometimes you're gagged from speaking about it. Or when charges have been brought forth, it's like you're gagged from speaking about court proceedings, like a case that is already ongoing in court. So I think maybe that's what is happening right now. I don't know that for a fact, but the fact that we have not had this lady side of the story continues to propagate that, aspect of the conspiracy and the setup, okay, of this particular blogger. Until Mpaka Amesema is trying to take a break from social media. Let me tell you something. It's very healthy also to take care of yourself. If you see something is not working and the environment you're in is kind of, how do I call it, messing around with your own person and your own being, you take a break from it, okay? And I would implore Edgar not to continue on this path when the waters are still heated, when the situation is still heated. Sometimes take care of yourself first, because you can't be successful when you're dead, okay? And you're playing with people who don't play by the rules, okay? So it's very unfortunate. Like I told you, you guys are driving the conversation today. I'm just here to ensure I am giving perspective on what you guys are saying right here, okay? If I was powerful and he was messing in my personal business, I would deal with him thoroughly too. We need to know which lines not to cross. Let me give you an example. Who knows Mange Kimambi here? Let me just sip my drink for a minute. By the way, if you can see, look at my drink. My shirt, and my curtains today is same color. Okay, I digress. Who knows Mange Kimambi? Mange Kimambi is someone who drags, okay, Tanzanian politicians, Tanzanian musicians. She drags them for filth. She doesn't go for the jugular, but she just gives perspective, but she's very ruthless. If you look at this young lady, she is a very tiny, small being, but she lives in California. Your location equally matters when you're delivering such kinds of information. That's why you see most liberators start causing chaos when they are abroad, outside the borders. Once you have learned your location and you know very well, if I'm in Kenya, this happens like this and this plays out like this, it's very important to equally know and register in your head that whatever I am doing in my locality and my region will lead me to be persecuted by some people who have influence or power. So if you know that those people are always hell-bent on making, sure that your voice is silenced, why not equally change your location? Okay, because this guy has been in trouble. You remember the Natalie Tower situation? In that instance, I was like, Edgar was wrong for publishing someone's visa. Okay, a visa is very private documentation. You don't have to publish it online. And for some countries, it's very illegal for you to share that information on the public web. Okay, on the World Wide Web, rather. Okay, let's move on. I remember Roy was a friend of mine. We used to drink at Wasani. I can't remember his death. Yes. You see, Parenting Abroad remembers Roy. Roy was a very amazing person. If you look at how he died, he was just a blogger like Edgar. Okay. And he was very vocal about certain things, in government and politicians and prominent people. And how he died was just tragic. Okay. And we need to learn to have those conversations with ourselves. Before you serve the tea, I beg, love yourself first. That is the first thing I'll say. For us, people like us will just be shady with it, and shade the people around. I will never go for the jugular because that's not my kind of conversation to drive. Everybody has their niche. It's not like somebody's being a coward or not, but you have to be careful about your life. Like I said, you cannot serve tea when you're dead, honey. Okay. Okay, well was a good Nelly, but he gives a chance to both sides. Okay, you give a chance to both sides, but you can't do it actively on Instagram. Let me tell you something. It's very interesting that Alfred Mutua actually responded, or whoever was handling Alfred Mutua's social media pages actually responded to Edgar. And they were corresponding, and Edgar was giving him all the information that the lady had said about him. And I like that about, because those are, in the words of Whitney Houston, show me receipts, okay? And we have also been accustomed to this receipt culture, screenshot and screen recording thing, to make sure somebody actually believes your story when it's time for you to tell your side of the story. And I heard those phone recordings, and on those phone recordings, we have all heard from Alfred Mutua. We have seen him speak from the time he was the government spokesman to the time he was producing Cobra Squad. We know that is his voice, okay? But again, why can't we just solve this amicably? I'm like, this is not a big deal. How many men have had affairs? How many men have had women outside their marriages? How many men have had scandals? It is not something worth killing somebody over or tormenting them over. Okay? It is something you deal with, but the way you do it is always in the end, proves the person you are. I digress. Like I said, today we are going by you. Kenyan bloggers need to stop emulating TMZ. The owner of TMZ is a lawyer and has protection from the First Amendment. Kenya doesn't have similar protection. You are very right, Brenda. That's actually very true. Very, very, very true. You're right. Hapo umenena. Kenyan bloggers need to stop emulating TMZ. And TMZ is it's good. Imitation is the best form of flattery. Excuse me. So Brenda has a point there. Who else? Teshmer is saying, Hodika, Karibu sana Tesh, join the conversation. Nazwa said, Brenda, keep your private life private. Don't go kimwaga babies everywhere. Have class. Oh my God. Hey, Nancy Wendo, Nancy Wendo has not been here for a very long time, so she's decided to come back and be savage. Okay, Nancy, we get you. Tunakupata vizuri sana. We get you very much. All right. Who else is here? Liz. Yes, location matter. Obare said he want to go work from ground zero. Okay. Well, we don't know where ground zero is, but we wish him all the best. Brenda, keep your private life private. Don't go kimwaga babies everywhere. But that's very true. Your location matters. All right. Definitely location matters. Obare said earlier that he wanted to work from ground zero. Sasa shida ndio he. All right. Okay, let's go. Like I said today, you guys are driving the conversation. I want to know your perspective. It is your perspective I'm looking for, because you guys are the ones who propel these bloggers to fame by subscribing to their content and listening to their tea, and also providing them with these receipts. So now that they are in trouble, or this particular blogger, Edgar, is in trouble, I want to see your perspective right here. So share them with me. Parenting Abroad says, Edgar is never biased at all. He gives and asks both sides of the story, but I agree with you. He should change his location. Kenya, Hakuna freedom. There's that very word, deep state. Deep state in each part of the world, there's always a deep state somewhere. What we have to learn to do is to always make sure wherever you are, you're not in the deep state that is going to hurt you. Okay, even in the US, there's deep state. But if you're in the US discussing Kenyan issues, they really don't give a damn about what's going on in Kenya and who impregnated who, because this is the story that is emanating from all this mess. Okay. Maggie told her close people to never take her body to Tanzania when she died, at least she fears to be chopped viboko in her casket. Oh my God, Mangi Kimamba is a winner. If you see how she streamlines those people, it's very, very, like, it's cutthroat, but she says the truth, and that is what people in Kenya need to learn. Like, even for me, I can't speak my truth, because if I speak my truth, nobody will believe it. Not nobody, like most people will not believe it, but the people who know me, who have interacted with me, will believe it. Like when I told somebody I went through domestic violence, they were like, how? I was like, you see, it starts from there. You tell somebody something about, what you've been through, and they're like, like they start doubting you. So you're like, okay, anytime something happens to me, I will not then speak about it if this is how people will always react. Okay, that's about Mange. Okay, this whole story just seems like damage control. You see, there, Charity says that because I say this when we were beginning, from the very beginning, like this just looks like damage control. Okay, the lady just extort Alfred. I believe she knew that he is married, so getting pregnant for him, that's on her. Okay, and Gary, I agree with you on one point. Getting pregnant for him, I agree, because that's a choice. Okay, to get pregnant and keep a baby. If you know somebody is going to be an asshole to you, you get the first signs when you interact with them. You know the kind of person they are. Okay, and it's very important to think about your kids in the future. We know men who have been polygamous. We know men who are polygamous. We know men who have so many wives and so many kids. And we equally know men who support the very many wives and kids they have. And we equally know the opposite, men who will go sow seeds everywhere in each and every locality, different village, sub-location, city, division, district, province, jimbo, you name it. And they will never take care of those because they believe they have some certain clout and power. If you know you're getting involved with such a person, like people never learn. Who was that lady who was Jepchumba? This lady who was killed along Nairobi University. This lady was messing with politicians. People still never learn from such incidences. It is not a must, okay? If you see that it is not working out, how many women have raised kids single-handedly on their own, and their baby daddies, the fathers of the kids are millionaires? You will not be the first. Your life first. I believe that the message gets him, his life comes first. You know, I know he has, like the Natalie Taylor situation, being involved, quote unquote, with the Mombasa governor. Like those were very messy situations. You know, you went to court first. You know, he claims he was kidnapped at some point and gagged with sellotape and masking tape, whatever. I feel like at this point, Edgar should know that his life is very important. Guard your life first. These things come second. And like everybody is saying here, your matters. If it's about lanes, then we'll never have freedom of speech. Plus, the big fish will continue manipulating innocent people. Remember Jichopevu? First thing I want. Oh my God. You know, you guys all have very, very great perspectives. You really do. Okay. If it's about the big fish will continue manipulating. Let me tell you something. If anybody has watched Scandal with Olivia K. Washington, how people would manipulate a narrative in government and have people who are once sunken come on top, have even dictators look good in the presence or in the eyes of their subjects. You know, these people will always manipulate a story. Okay. And you know, once the information is out there, it's very hard for you to retract it in order for you to give your side of the story. Because number one, you'll be given a gag order. You cannot speak about this issue because it's already something that's being handled, investigations by the police. Politicians can always get away with it because they will speak about it. How will you arrest them again? Okay. But the DC has really put out this on Twitter. And let's just go back and read that. Where's that tweet? There's a tweet that was out this morning. What was it yesterday? No, yesterday when he was Edgar was arrested. There was a thread on where is it? I'm trying to find it because I need to read it to you guys. This is the thing about content creation. It becomes very, very hard to constantly find. Oh, here, I have found it. And I'm going to read it to you so that you can understand what is actually going on here. In case of outright blackmail by fraudsters who intend to benefit financially from prominent personalities by tainting their images online and demanding money not to post scandalous information about them, detectives have once again arrested serial fraudster Edgar Obare. You see, the way he has already been labeled a serial fraudster, you know, it's very hard to get that off your mind because this is coming from a government entity. This is a government office, okay? This is a government institution. They've already labeled you a serial fraudster. It will be very hard to shake off that image, okay? The suspect, who had previous run-ins with the law for publishing false and malicious information regarding individuals and their families, is once again a guest of the state. Detectives from the Cyber Crimes Unit have uncovered an underworld network. You see the way this thing is being played, an underworld network of criminals involving young ladies recruited by Obare. So apparently now he's a criminal mastermind, okay? Young ladies recruited by Edgar Obare to stalk prominent personalities in political, business, and religious circles, I beg your pardon, for monetary exploitation. The ladies are then coached by Obare. Apparently, Obare is Olivia Pope, okay, but I digress. The ladies are then coached by Obare on how to ensnare the victims into their traps, then extort unimaginable sums of money from them. I would like to know who has been successful in extorting this money. Of course, if this is the information that DCI is providing, then maybe there's somebody or a group of people who have managed to extort others. In the current case facing the fraudster, you see, like they continuously use that word, so it's embedded in your head. In the current case, continuing facing the fraudster, one Desy Oduor Achieng, his co-accused, had been coached how to stalk the prominent governor. How do you stalk a governor with all the security they have? Not stupid. How do you stalk a governor with all the security they have? By the time you get to a governor, even say, hello, how do you stalk a governor? That is where, like, there's always so many question marks for me. Coach, how to stalk prominent governor with the hope of extorting 10 million from him. Best believe if I was extorting governor, it would be 10 million. Okay. Obare had shared the governor's number with her and instructed her to tell him that she was pregnant with this child, and that she would tell the whole world about the little secret. When the governor did not respond, she was instructed to threaten him that she had allegedly taken in compromising situations, but the governor did not respond. This is another thing, because on the information shared from Edgar's page, this lady said she doesn't have photos. So that's number one. You know, conspiracy theorists like us will always dig through the bullshit. Okay. Dejected that their plan wasn't working, Edgar took to his social media pages accusing the governor. Number one, Edgar didn't accuse anyone of anything. Edgar just shared that information, okay, that the lady had shared. He did not accuse anybody. He actually gave him a chance to respond, and they had a very lengthy conversation. We equally saw it, okay? The supposedly pregnant lady wasn't aware that all along Edgar was taking screenshots of their conversations or photos. Yeah, I would take those screenshots to ensure that you do not lie about this encounter, okay? You don't lie that you sent me these messages and you were speaking to me and you were sending me these voice notes, which he posted alongside his claims. Fearing the repercussions of Edgar's actions, she reported the matter to DCI officers in Nyali. Okay, I'm going to reserve a comment there. Detectives have since established that the lady is pregnant, as she isn't pregnant as she had claimed. Wait, last month this lady said she was 6 months pregnant and she abandoned. So now she's not pregnant? What happened to the pregnancy? Furthermore, the lady has said that she has never met the governor. Oh, here comes the coercion part. It sounds like coercion to me, adding that she had only been recruited by Edgar to extort money from the governor. She has since been arrested alongside her tutor, Edgar Obare, and they will face publishing false information charges. Contrary to Section 23 of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act 2018, ladies are called to beware of such fraudsters. You remember, I was telling you, every time they keep using that word, so it's embedded in your brain. To exploit them for their selfish gains, are advised to find alternative sources of income. Kwani ilikuwa biashara. Okay? There is that. There goes the information. So you tell me, at this point, who is fooling who? Because all of a sudden, there's this information. Okay, let's just continue with your comments for a bit. Charity Amoga says this whole story seems like damage control, especially that whole thread on Twitter looks like a PR stunt to me, in my opinion. All right, let's go. They just want to extort Alfred. Okay, we've read that. Let's go to some more comments. Okay, I can see you guys saying you're present. Paulo in USA. Okay. That's how Kenya works. People are not tired. Check elections, for example. Okay, EMA elections, I will go into it some other time because that's equally another situation. All right. Size 8, Jalango's wife, etc. maybe would have died of AIDS. Issue. Can you wake up people? Enough is enough with these politicians using power in cash. Whew. Okay, that's a very, very Heavy comment. Brenda, that one I cried Kwanzaa for the unborn baby, but let's stop extorting. These people are monsters. Just don't get pregnant. Okay. She set up Edgar, that woman. All right. Okay, by the way, Edgar has spoken about so many people and has, been caught in, so many frivolous claims and scandals, but at the end of the day, okay, the truth, okay, and then there's your life. Which one is more important? You're not a martyr here, okay? This is not a case of Ugandans needing salvation from Museveni, through Bobby Wine. This is your life. Let me tell you something. When these guys get rid of you, there will always be another person who comes in the claim of serving tea. But you have to be very careful about the location you're in and this tea that you're supposedly serving. We have been engulfed. I think this Mambaya tea is because of Ratchet TV. Give me the tea, give me the tea, give me the tea. What's the tea? Okay, so let me drink some tea and lubricate, okay, because this is getting heated. The Natalie Tewa situation, the Jalango situation. Jalango amenikwa na umse marangapi by DJ Mama amenikwa na umse marangapi. Zeta amenikwa na umse marangapi. Natalie Tewa. All these people have passed through Edgar Obare's timeline at one point or the other. But, I don't think any of this should be a life-threatening situation. Okay? Like I was saying, how many people have gotten pregnant by politicians out here? When you analia watoto pole pole. All the things are amicably resolved. But when I was reading that thread on Twitter from the DCI, I was like, there's certain things not adding up because Huko, in the chat, Edgar said that lady told Edgar she doesn't have photos because this guy was very smart and he only used to call, never used to text. Okay, but Huko, they're saying this lady had photos in uncompromising position. So I was like, okay, there comes my point. Who is telling the truth? Okay, then you start asking your questions, those things. I'm like, okay, is it that serious? This is just a case of somebody who was pregnant. And where are those receipts of extortion? Because here in court, people deal in evidence, all right? Where are the receipts of somebody who was trying to extort 10 million? Where? Is there a message? Is there a phone call? A WhatsApp message, perhaps? A printed email? Where? Where is the information? Okay, because those are things that would come to light. Okay, let's continue with your comments. You can never hide the truth. It will come to light someday. Nancy says that, yes, the truth will always come to light someday. Edgar's like a rabbit poking a lion. The lion finally woke. Brenda, and your analogies, Brenda, please be nice. My dad used to say, the government has long hands and far-reaching. That's very true. The government does have long hands and is very far-reaching. So wherever you hide, wherever you are, the long arm of the government will finally catch up with you. But I don't think this is a very serious situation. Like, the government needs to be more worried about this 2 billion that is being stolen every day from taxpayers, as opposed to who Alfred Mutua impregnated. That is not something that is affecting this country. It's not. That is something Alfred should go and sort out with that girl and leave us the fuck alone. But of course, we have to make it a big deal. Kenya, everything is grandiose. You have to make everything such a big deal. It's not. Okay? Alfred, if this is the case, you impregnate some lady, just go handle it. It don't need to be on the interwebs. It doesn't need to be in anyone's faces. You're not the first man to impregnate a woman outside of marriage. You're not the first one to have extramarital affairs, and neither will you be the last. Okay? This is the case people will be discussing in any court. I get the Cyber Crimes Act is blah, 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 whatever. And it's equally important to know whatever line of business you're in, you need to know what laws govern that line of business, okay? So that you're equally protected and you know your rights, okay? Because now I think for him, he's being charged with, publishing malicious information, intent to cause harm, blah, 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 fraud and blackmail, extortion, and things like that. But I'm like, at the end of the day, is it that serious? Like, I was expecting people are being murdered every day, cases go unsolved, but here we are trying to penalize someone for outing someone to have impregnated someone outside of his marriage. Well, what country are we living in? Honestly, what country are we living in? Those are the things we are worried about. You're not worried about building your infrastructure. You're not worried about reforming education. You're worried about where somebody else put his penis and ejaculated to make a baby. That's what you're worried about. Okay. All right. I'm sure someone in Europe is making up those texts and phone calls that will crucify it. Brenda, you are on a roll today, okay? But I'm honestly like, you guys, if you know, and especially women and men out there who are dealing with politicians, okay? These will be are very greedy people, by the way. Watakuona watakulek na maybe watakukatia by force hata. Okay, you will always find yourself wrapped around their lifestyle, but know the end game of that, their lifestyle is not always pretty. Okay, we have seen it play in the news time and time again, time without number. We have seen these things play out, and it always comes down to one thing. Unfortunately, we have seen it as death for so many people. Bloggers, girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, it's very sad. And that's the sad reality of it. And for someone like Edgar, creating his kind of content, because it's content anyway, and there's people who subscribe to that kind of content because they're like, oh, we need tea today, tea has not been served today, but then at the end of the day, you have to be really diligent in doing your investigations. People like TMZ don't just run up and do stories that you post. No. They do their own investigations. They have their teams, okay? TMZ is such a huge global organization. So they do things by the book as much as they do that gossip and whatever. They back their content up with videos, interviews, you name it, perspective from the employees. It is a whole thing, and it encompasses a lot of many aspects, And like Ben Kitilu said, like, it's very dangerous how, sometimes he puts the information out there. All right, I can see your comments coming in. Sorry, let me go back to some of your comments. Me too. I think she wanted him to take responsibility, but was also too greedy. And if you were keen, Edgar was on the governor's side plus of us, because we thought the lady came out as a gold digger. Wow. Okay, Nan, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you. If we act normal and do away with the Mheshimiwa and prominent people equation and treat everyone as normal citizens, then media and bloggers would have freedom of speech, which doesn't in Africa. And that's very true. In Africa, they steal the gag on media and information and expression. Okay, you can't express yourself however much you want to because you'll be told you're too boisterous, you're too loud, you're too bossy, you're too this, you're too that. Who has a gauge of what is a lot and what is the bare minimum? Who has a gauge? Okay, if you want to express yourself, you just express yourself, period. Okay, there's nobody will tell you it's too much, it's too little, it's too moderate. Nobody will tell you that. Let me lubricate. All right, so Tekla is very right. If we treated everybody as equal and normal in our country, then we will not have those problems of, this is that, this one is important, this one is not. Have you ever seen powerful people in Europe, in Asia, in Americas, how they treat themselves and how they are treated? In Kenya, if a celeb walks past you and you don't recognize them, they will act like they're hurt. It's like you hurt their feelings, like you don't recognize them. I was once in Amsterdam in the year 2012. Was it the Prime Minister who was cycling to Parliament? Here they want to have 10 outriders and 5 motor vehicles. What for? Who cares? Nobody gives an F who you are, by the way. Nobody. Let me tell you something. We are the ones who glorify these people. If you just decided to treat them like normal people, because let me tell you something. If you cut them, they will bleed red just like you bleed. They go to the toilet the same way you do. So I don't know why we put them on such a pedestal. We're like, oh, it is us who are the problem because we put these guys here and then they act like they don't know us anymore. We, the people who put them there, we do not exist until they come back to ask us for a vote, and we are stupid enough to vote for the same stupid individuals. It's very sad and it's very pathetic, actually. Africans, Kenyans just need to learn, okay, to value themselves. You are the boss. A politician is not your boss. You are their boss because you put them there. You hired them. You are their boss. But it is reverse psychology on us because we keep going to these people for handouts, so we give them power and control over us. That's why people like Edgar constantly find themselves at crosshairs, even if you don't agree with what he does. And it's okay. Everybody can have perspective. Not everybody likes what I do here. And it's your opinion at the end of the day. It just doesn't have to affect my life. So the law should equally treat people as same. But in Kenya, no. Because this, what I read on Twitter about the Edgar Obare situation, looks like a PR stunt to me. It looks like damage control because how it is phrased and how it is said compared to the information we read that, Edgar was discussing with the governor on their Instagram DMs is very different. So who is fooling who? Let's go back to your comments. As much as Alfred claims he's running and it's his opponent, someone tell him 2022 is not his year, and that seat he is proving points. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I can see you guys still Oh, Tony Nzomo. Hi, Tony Nzomo. How are you doing? Parenting abroad too, and it's disgusting. Instead of building free colleges for women, they put them in compromising situations. Their parents do not have jobs, then they end up being used. Let me just tell you something. If you're here and if you know anyone who is getting involved in a politician, please tell them don't. Vishivo, just say don't. I've wasted good energy on bad sex. So don't get off involved with politicians. It's really not worth it at the end of the day. And I don't mean all of them are bad, but it's just like the bad apples among them is giving each and every one of them a very bad reputation. Personally, I know some people who have kids outside, but it's none of my business. Okay. I'm in Kenya. I love my life. And I want to live a long, healthy life, a life of longevity. And I want to enjoy. I'm not done twerking yet. So I'm like, why would I put myself in a position that allows people to hurt and harm me and I could prevent it? Okay. Remember Saudi Arabia killed Khashoggi in Turkey while Khashoggi had USA protection that the long D of the government, it will penetrate you dry. Hey. Oh my God, Brenda, you are on a roll today. Dear God, are you kidding, Brenda? What is that? Grace Manasseh in the building. Hi, Grace, how are you doing? If everyone who loves Edgar spoke out against this, then change will start. Do you know how the Brotherhood in Egypt was removed from power? It was the collective of each and everybody moving and marching onto the streets that evicted them from power. Okay? Edgar was arrested. I know there is hundreds of thousands, there's tens of thousands of people who watch his stories, hundreds of thousands of people who view his videos when he puts them up, on Instagram. Where were they when he was arrested? That is why you have to think about your influence and your life. Where were they when he was arrested? You who watches his tea, you who watches his videos. Where were you when Edgar Obare was arrested? Where was your voice? Okay? I did not personally see people going to protest at the DCI or Kiambu local. I did not see anybody going to protest there. You who subscribe to his content, if you really believe that what he's doing is right, why didn't you go protest for him? Ask yourself that question equally. Okay? And Edgar equally needs to ask himself that question because these people who you are serving, are they people who will actually go protest for you when something is happening to you? You see, if Boniface Mank is arrested, bloggers go and they are up in arms at police stations and making noise, doing protests and placards, tear gassed everywhere. You have to learn just how far you want to go with this and who is there and who will be supporting you. And it's important to equally have a lawyer on retainer. Okay? Okay, Atinazwendo says Alfred Mutua Ajoibu 2042. I used to think Alfred was a good leader, but he's a very petty. Young girls should stay away from these politicians and getting pregnant for them thinking they will secure a bag. Let me tell you something, not only politicians, just getting pregnant for a man thinking you'll secure a bag. Oh my God, that is the most medieval kind of thinking I've ever come across. It's 2021. If you have not chanukad by now at getting pregnant for a man will help you secure a bag, oh my God, you are definitely misled and your education did not do anything for you. That's besides the point. Getting pregnant for a man is not securing the bag. So just know that. I protested on social media as we cannot travel yet from abroad, but we will. Okay. How many of his followers who love him contributed to his being money? That's equally another point. How many even did the hashtag free Edgar Obare? How many? How many contributed to his bail? And when you're doing things like that, it's always important with any aspect of business, with any aspect of career, have a lawyer on retainer. Those are necessities. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to retain the monthly. Sometimes you retain once and you're like, when that will, it's like insurance. Sometimes you got to pay it monthly, but then there's one you pay a lump sum sometimes. Okay. So you pay a lawyer retainer and they will always come through for you at your time of distress and at your time of need. All right. So it's important to equally have a lawyer with you so that this mess does not find you unprepared. And I feel like wherever Edgar is, he should ask himself how many people were there. Because I looked at some of these influencers who he works with online, nothing, quiet. They were very silent on the social media pages. But then when Edgar is active, they're all over there. I was like, wow, if that does not tell you something as a person, there is no way people can help you. Because eventually, it will come down to you and your day in court. And then you'll equally see who will be there supporting you and rooting for you when you're in court. All right? When Alfred responded to Edgar, I was like, wow. But then after Edgar's arrest, I just realized he's just like the rest. He's lost all my respect and my votes. Ooh, well, okay then. That is very passionate, Master Chibet. It's very sad, actually. It's very sad that somebody can actually put another human being through that distress. Let me tell you something. In Kenya, our politicians don't have a conscience. They don't. Okay? So if you're thinking as a woman, you're going to live with someone, get pregnant, that you'll secure the bag, that you have child support for 18 years, my friend, I'd rather you have an agreement on paper. Be like, you know what? I'm going to get pregnant for you. You're going to sign here. You're going to give me support. I'd rather you have a contract. Okay? But getting pregnant by having, by a politician and knowing that they're going to pay you support for the baby, it has happened for people in the past and maybe even now, but it is not the perfect route for you to secure a bag of any kind. Okay? It is very risky and it is not something that is sustainable for the future. So you see now, this lady has put Edgar Obare in the crosshairs. Edgar Obare is busy answering information cases from the state. And let me tell you something. Sometimes this is not America. When the state is against you, it's very hard to win those cases. Let's just be logical and practical. It's very hard to win a case against the state. As much as that thread on Twitter by the DCI sounds like a PR stunt and damage control, it's very impossible to win against the state. Onakina Kenneth Matiba, people who are wronged by great people, when did their nini come? Their payments, their cases were cleared just years ago. Kenneth Matiba Nimtu, I grew up knowing Nilimpatai Dunia. But then I learned his history and the things he did for this country, how he was mistreated, and he was paid damages by the state just a few years ago. You're starting now. When will you think your restitution will ever come? It is not that serious. It really isn't. Okay? So you have to take care of yourself as a woman. Don't get involved with these politicians, businessmen. If you have met somebody, by normally and not conniving your way into meeting them and entrapping and ensnaring them, that's okay. Okay? But Mwanaume Pia, listen, you can't keep a man with a pregnancy these days. We all know that. You cannot keep a man by pregnant saying you're pregnant. If man wants to leave, he's going to leave you at 1 week pregnant, at 9 months and 1 day pregnant. They're going to leave you. Okay? So you can't entrap a man with pregnancy, whether a powerful man or a mediocre person. You cannot. It's very, very unfortunate. And I believe this Edgar Obare lesson, this arrest of this time is very serious. Because the last arrest, people didn't believe him when he took the pictures, but he later took them down when he was tied. His clothes were torn, he was tied, his hands were tied behind his back, and he said he had been dropped off by the roadside and things like that. I don't think Edgar is that infatuated for these people to off him. He's not. Okay, if Miguna is still alive, Edgar has a chance of staying alive for a very, very long time. Because we've seen people who have caused chaos for the government. They're still alive. How much frustration has Boniface Mangi given this politician sleepless nights? He's still here. Okay, I don't think that's the end result for him, but I think that they will frustrate him and downtrodden him. They will step and crash on him and his dreams until he doesn't have the strength to go on anymore. Kama he says he's taking a break from social media. You see? It starts like that. Like it starts by emotional manipulation. When you're already put in a case, umesha arrestiwa. Hey. When you're arrested like that, you can't be considered a political prisoner, even if you're going to seek for asylum. Because they'll be like, these are very small cases, like this is innuendo, Oh, I can see some of your comments still coming in. Okay. His case against the state, it's against an individual here. Let me tell you something. These politicians will always protect each other, Nova. They will always protect one another. Okay? So let me tell you something. If you see politicians like Yongezanga salary in parliament, they're always all there. Whether they're in the opposition or they're in government, they're always all there to add themselves money and perks. And they equally protect themselves. So whether it is an individual or they are one group, they will protect one another. People in power will always protect themselves. That is something you guys have to learn. Okay. I should say politicians annoy me with the air of self-importance. If I wasn't a Christian, thou shalt not kill was not a thing. I would have been in that line of business. They better thank Jesus. Oh my God! Hey, Edna, that's very passionate. Brenda says, right now only Edgar and his family are feeling the pain. His customers are busy with lives. I have Brenda today. Brenda is spewing facts over here. Right now, he's feeling the pain because wherever he is, he's deeply thinking about his next move and what he's doing. Who wants to be tied down with cases in court over and over again? You have to think about your life at the end of the day. Is it that important? Is it worth it? Okay? He's already a master following. You see the way Miley Cyrus changed her trajectory from Hannah Montana into this bad girl who sings music? That transition, he can transition his content, not necessarily get away from that tea, but make it palatable and much better and deliver it in a better way. Because right now, let me tell you something, they will continue coming for him. Let's be practical and factual about this country. Edna says if this thou shalt not kill was there, if she wasn't a Christian, she would be in that line of business. That's very funny. That's my sister. Getting pregnant for the politicians in Kenya is digging your own grave, and blogging about them is the same thing. Fact, Black Diva, you are very right. That's very true. Umenena hapo. But honestly, you sleep with a politician without protection and you are only afraid of pregnancy. My sisters, AIDS, STIs, and STDs are just barely waiting. Wow. Nancy Wendo. Nancy. You know what, Nancy? I have to kind of screenshot that comment. You are... Let me screenshot this comment by Nancy. Nancy, that was awesome. But honestly, you sleep with a politician without protection, and you're only afraid of pregnancy. My sister, AIDS, STIs, and STDs are smiling, awaiting your turn. This has to be the truest comment on this live today, because hey, if you do not take care, by the way, if you're only afraid of pregnancy, there's STDs, STIs, and all that shebang waiting for you. It's like, it's coming. And by the time you get there, it will be too late. Okay, then when they're sick, they will go for treatment and blood transfusions in India, South Africa. You'll be struggling with your NHIF card. So stop it. think clearly about the direction you want your life to take. All right. Okay. Nancy Wendell, that was actually very funny. His case is against the state. Okay, we've read that. As much as we love to play around online, we need to be aware of our surroundings. That is something I'm equally advocating for, and it's very true. And Edgar's business and line of work would be very successful if he was living out of this country. Let me just say out of Africa, basically, because if you go to Africa, you can find you there still, and they will bring you back to Kenya and harass you. Go to Australia, Europe, the US, Canada, wherever, and do that work from there, because you have to be really aware of your surroundings. And that is something we have been saying right here on the show. Most have been exposed on T has contributed on Edgar's arrest. Please just stop it. Provide jobs, education for these girls. Then politicians have destroyed this country. That's actually a very, very important point. Another Edgar will opt out. That's very true. That's why I said, even if you get rid of him, another one will crop up. So that's not the solution. Okay. But Miguna is alive in Canada. Yes, says Boniface Mangi have US residency and can always run away. All right. Edgar to play. That's very true. Who is this? Tekla Clay says, I am the next Edgar Obare. Oh my God, you guys are so funny. Okay, I'm sorry, but once you mess with the politician, it's like he's the one to decide what to do with you. Being arrested is just formality. Anything can happen. And that's very true. You guys need to be very aware, even with some of your friends. When you mess with them, the repercussions of like what you're getting into, right? Time to lubricate. You know what you're getting into, even with your normal friends. Unajua, this one is crazy, this one is timid, this one is always quiet. When you mess with the politician, you just know you're jumping from the frying pan right into the fire. And for people to help you afterwards, even if we do a poll now, be like, who believes who believes who? It's very sad. Like, you can't understand that concept. Like, people will be trying to help you, but be like, okay, tuanzie wapi, where do we start? And it's a very, very hard thing to grasp. But then it's equally very easy to learn and decipher and be like, you know what? This is uncharted territory. I do not want to be afraid for my life, because you know what? These people, you think they play by rules. Like I started this life, they don't play by your rules. They don't live in your world. Okay? If they don't come for you, they will come for your family. They will always make sure you're frustrated until such a point you have given up and you cannot do that anymore. So please, like, my appeal to Edgar is, like, either diversify content or just tailor it in such a way that this people don't have to come after you. Or better yet, leave the country and go and shred them from away somewhere. Tekla claims she's the next Edgar Obare. Okay, Tekla was supporting your bail money. You guys, we will have live receipts. Okay. In a situation like this, if this was a situation that played out in the US, this woman would be so courageous to come forth by herself. You remember the issue between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? But Bill Clinton was still president and served America very well. One of the best presidents in America, as far as I'm concerned. Bill Clinton was caught in a mess like this. See, wangiangalia tu venye Bill Clinton ali handle, and Bill Clinton was just giving head. Okay. They would have just checked how Bill's team handled that situation with Monica Lewinsky, because Bill Clinton became president, was re-elected. But no, here you have to, arrest someone, mess with their reputation, and I don't know, kill their self-esteem and just crush their spirit such that they are not able to continue. And that's what politicians actually do to you. They will kill your spirit and your self-esteem because you think you're worthless. Okay? So in my perspective, I just think, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not, because now you have a case. He has a case to answer with Natalie Tewa. He now has a case to answer with this guy, Alpha Mutua. And you know what? We live in Kenya. Unfortunately, it's very sad that I'm using the fact, unfortunately, we live in Kenya. Like, Kenya is our home. We love it. We love the people. But it is the said politicians that make us regret having been born in this country. Because of this, such things. Because when the international community looks at us and look at what we are fighting against, you're fighting against a blogger who has said you made a lady pregnant. Like, they will look at you and be like, you don't have serious things to, advocate freedom of speech and expression. As much as it's, expressed clearly in the Bill of Rights, we clearly still don't have freedom of speech and expression. Okay? Let me tell you something. If the information that is put out there is true, whether it damages someone's reputation, it is not fabricated. It's the truth. One thing we have become accustomed to is we can't handle the truth. Like, even you guys watching me right now, if one of your friends came to tell you, especially ladies, even came to tell you, hey, babe, that dress not good with waist, it is already a problem, even if it was true. All right, let's continue. The hide ID crowd on Edgar's page every day on his page should be on the streets demanding for his release. That's equally very true. They phrase in the streets, I love it, but I can't put my life in danger. That's when to stop backpedaling, okay? It's high time Edgar seeks asylum elsewhere. I agree with that point as well. Exactly my thought. He should move to some country outside and roast them like crazy. Do it like Mange Kimambi does. Roast them like crazy outside of your locality, okay? Somebody saying, Umi, very true. Brenda say, in Kenya, if your village witches don't get you, the Sirikali... Oh my God. Okay, by the way, to everybody who is on this video, please remember to like this video, okay? Like, there's only 30 people who have liked the video out of the 33 people watching right now. So remember to like the video as much as you're interacting with me. Like the video. Truly appreciate your participation today. Like I said, it is you driving this conversation because I want to hear your perspective. Kina Nancy Wendo, Kina Umi, Regina Mugo, Jay Faiz, New Wineskin, like, you guys have contributed. I love your perspective. Everybody has an opinion about what is going on today. Okay, so thank you guys so much for participating. Remember to like this video. Like it, share with your community, and remember to leave a comment once the video is done. I absolutely loved your participation today. You guys have been great and amazing. So like the video if you haven't liked it. If you're watching, remember to like this video and leave a comment afterwards. All right, you guys are crazy. So, like, I would just like to, sum us by saying it is good to serve the tea. Very good, by the way. Wanasema umbea itaki uvivu. That's what they say, I beg your pardon, in Coast. Umbea itaki vivu, but at the end of the day, you have to be very diligent about how you deliver that information and how you serve that said tea, okay? Because we are still advocating for, freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We will say that they are protected in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, but then you'll express yourself, but somebody will still come to your doorstep and arrest and harass you. Like, this is the country we live in. I'm like, what? Okay, you say, on the other hand, freedom of expression, and I know your rights are not supposed to infringe on somebody else's rights, and I get the foundation of this particular, charge that has been brought against Edgar. But one thing I wanted to say is, why isn't that lady holding the same placard with her name, her information, the way Edgar is? Because if you're arrested by the DCI, you should be treated the same way, because you guys are being charged on the same count. Because apparently, if you're accomplices, you guys were both in together on this. So you are going to be charged the same way. I did not see that lady holding, that thing showing her information. Why? You have to question that too. Okay, let's hear the comments. Also, the folks posting pictures celebrating his arrest weird me out. It's one thing having beef with someone, but going to this extent, it's insane. Did you know who was posting pictures? Were there people posting pictures? Like, were there people he has aired out before? I know people who have personally passed through that timeline on the Edgar Obare platform. And I wouldn't really rejoice for it, but I'm like, wow. I could be the next one caught in such a predicament someday with some content, but I'm always very careful. Like, I have people who advise me on how to present myself. And it's good I went through, media school. So like we did media ethics, so you know how to conduct yourself. Let me tell you something. Even my shade icons, you want to be able to tie me down and say, this was hate speech, cyberbullying, or whatever. No, you have to construct your phrases, your content in such a way that it will be funny, to be captivating, but then nobody can come and say, this was targeting me as well. But sometimes you post something even on social media. You will post something, you'll post a meme, and then here comes the person with the shoe that fits, saying, oh, you're talking about me. Those are things you have to deal with. And unfortunately, within our territory and with what we are doing, we meet a lot of that. I can only imagine how much flack Edgar gets and how many DMs he gets, what were him to Kana, people saying derogatory things about him. I am very objective about this matter. So until we know who is telling the truth, and the unfortunate thing is we can't equally always trust our courts. That's another thing. Like you can't trust the police, you can't trust the courts. Who will be for us? Okay. Edgar is our devil. Imagine someone had to do it. Nancy Wendell, that's a stretch, but okay. You know what? If anybody knows a smuggler that we can link up Edgar with, because the cases are too much, it is raining court cases in Edgar's world. So, oh my God. Edna says it's raining court cases in Edgar's world. By the way, who knows a smuggler? Can we get Edgar on a boat to Thailand and then fly him to the US so he can whip these people apart with his... Oh my God. That is very funny. It's raining court cases in Edgar's world. That's a very interesting perspective, but very true, because the court cases will pile up, pile up, pile up. You'll lose so much money by the time you're broke. You're paying all these lawyers to defend you in court, and the way court cases in Kenya drag on for a very, very long time. You will be paying lawyers, you will be, paying for their services, representation in court, you've already paid bails, you bond and all that stuff. You're paying these people, but then imagine the outcome will still not be in your favor because you're living in a country, Kenya, and you don't trust any institution. You don't trust the police, you don't trust the courts. Like people are framing, you're like, okay, who will you trust? The people who take in your tea, the tens of thousands of people who view your tea, or the hundreds of thousands of people who view your tea, will not contribute to your bail money, will not be on the streets vouching for you to be released. What's the end game? You constantly be asking yourself those questions. All right? Our mothers are for us. Okay, I do not know what that means, Brenda, but okay. Kenyans, Black Diva, Kenyans love tea and allergic to the truth. Like, seriously, wahala. Oh my God. That's a very, very, very serious comment there. Kenyans love the tea and allergic to the truth. I don't know why Kenyans always believe tea is entertaining. Of course it is entertaining, but you have to look at aspects. Is it true or is it for entertainment value? All right? Like I say, this is not the US. This is not TMZ. America has branded itself through PR as one of the greatest nations on earth. They are very good at PR, by the way. You will never see Americans speak negatively of the country. Even doing Black Lives Matter, like they will be like, we are tired of this, but they will never speak negatively of their country. They might speak negatively about an institution, which is the police, like things like institutional racism, but they will never speak ill of their country, the USA. But here, huh? Oh my God. Tony Zuma says, I remember how unfair he and naked Kiki Bill a right to defend. Kiki only produced receipts for Jamal Siopoa. There are some places and there are times when he has gone rogue. I equally, I agree with what you're saying, Tony. There's sometimes when he's good. Sometimes you don't always get it right all the time. Okay, you will not always get it right all the time. You might get it right once, but you will not get it right all the time. But at that point where you get it wrong, be equally ready to apologize and be like, I messed up here, produce a disclaimer and be like, what, this information was not verified. We are sorry for whatever damage it caused and whoever it hurt. We don't see our media doing it unless you're threatened by a lawsuit, and then it's like you're forced to do it. Where is your manners, like your basic manners, your good ethics, equal happy? Sometimes it flies out the window. If you know you've published a story and it was not verified and it comes out that maybe it was not true, it is important sometimes to retract the story and put on an apology and a statement, to the effect that, you know what, we acknowledge that this happened, blah, blah, blah. The times when Edgar's gone rogue, we have seen it. Okay, especially to me was that point where he actually put Natalie Tower's visa on the internet. That was very wrong. I was like, no, sharing of public information and visa is a government document, by the way. Okay, so you're not supposed to share certain things like that online. When you do that, it's criminal. Okay, and sometimes the content he posts is, scandalous, defamatory, derogatory. But then I'm like, people cheer him on because these are people who will, those people who throw stones behind the bushes and they end up hitting glass houses. And then you look in the glass house looking at people who are throwing stones. You don't see them. These are people cheering you on because it's having them tea. But wait until that house comes crumbling down. And then you're like, okay, what happened? Where is everybody? Nobody's there. So you have to critically think about this information that you're disseminating to people. If you know you have published a story that is not, you cannot back up. That's why I'm saying you should not be lazy because this is a lot of media right now. If somebody's giving you information, you should be able to verify that information. It is not enough to go via Instagram DM. Imagine it's not. Okay, and Instagram will come and they'll losing that. You guys are hilarious. Like, you just entertain me. It's not enough to just go by DM. Find the contact information, find their staff, share the information with them, come to a resolution and be like, you know what, this is the information I have. What do you have to say about it? DMing them on Instagram is not enough. All right? When we are caught up in scandals, we blame Edgar, yet he didn't send you to cheat. How about we accept mistake, apologize to our spouses, and do things differently? Exactly, Nancy. That's what I was saying. This is not the first man who has impregnated a woman outside of his marriage, and I don't think he will be the last either. Okay? So we need to also equally hold these people accountable and just, decide, who are we going to crucify here? Are we going to crucify the DCI? Crucify Alpha Mutua, crucify Edgar for sharing the information, crucify the police for not doing the job right or doing the job right. Like, who are we going to crucify? Like, here, there's so many, there's 4 entities involved. The police, because it's supposed to be doing investigations, Edgar Obare for sharing this information, the lady who has not come out clearly to say whether she's pregnant or not, she delivered, which is it? And of course, now Alpha Mutua, the supposed complainant. Okay? So yeah. Kenya is the land of Ketepa. We love our tea. That will never change. Brenda says she's going to be keyboard warrior today, and true to that, she is living to that expectation. Oh my God, Brenda. Umi Irene, in Kenya, minding your own business and learning the Constitution should be taught in schools. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. Hey, okay. Minding your own business and learning the Constitution should be taught in schools. I agree. So that you know your rights. Americans are very patriotic. That is one thing I envy about them. That's very true. At Umasema, sometimes Edgar has gone wrong. Oga Jason born proper. Huh? See, Dream Bona, Edgar Hajotambua, Miss Beverly Lies. I'm just thinking out loud on behalf of shows. You guys, I do not want trouble on my platform, please. Okay. Tekla. Okay, let's not do that here. Brenda, tea all the time. We live in the land of Ketepa. We love our tea. Okay, it's good to love our tea, but can we actually equally do it responsibly? Because there's vicious tabloids. And by the way, in the UK, the tabloids are very vicious. You remember the way they were vicious to Princess Diana, they were vicious to Meghan Markle. Media is just like that, especially when it comes to pop culture phenomenons and entertainment. The media is very vicious. Media, that includes bloggers and tea servers, as you call it. So you have to be very wary of the environment you're in and your surroundings and your location. Okay? Ati nitakuchumia hiyo chai kwa Tony. Umi, we can't mind our business. If we put your business out there, you make us in-laws by force. And this is something I keep telling people, especially this so-called, when I did the video of couple goals, please check out the video couple goals on my my YouTube playlist. It's a live stream playlist. It's a video about couple goals. If you constantly put yourself out there as couple goals, like the way Natalie Tewa and Ines did, and then you go and break up and start dragging each other, once you put your lives out there like that, people get that they have vested interest in you. You put your pictures out there, it's very hard for them to mind their business, unfortunately, and that's the truth. Very hard your lives out there. Oh, you put pictures of couples, you're doing this, you're doing that. People are vested. That's why people have followers. They follow because they're vested. Okay, they have vested interests. Okay, they're interested in that particular concept. So if you post there, you're this, you're that, you're who, you're not, best believe when things come crumbling down, they will be in your business, okay? Because they have been interested for a very long time. They liked your picture, they've commented, they supported your content. Best be like, even me one day, people will be like, no, Kenyan will come to me, no, Richie, we are vested, we want to know, you know? You know? So, like Brenda says, this is the land of Ketepa. We love our tea, but we have to do it responsibly, guys. You can't just put information out there. There's always repercussions to everything. And especially when you get to people who are people who don't play by the same rules you play by, they don't play fair. Okay, so if you're there playing fair, you have to find a lawyer. No, you equally need to, come out gloves punching and fight for your space. As much as we speak about the Bill of Rights, your freedom of expression as freedom of speech being entrenched in the Constitution, oh my God, let me tell you something. We still have a long way to go. See, how many years after independence, 50-something years after independence, we're still grappling with talking about freedom of expression and freedom of speech. Imagine. America is 400 plus years into independence. That's why some democracies have grown and some are yet to achieve even the threshold of being seen in the world as people who value democracy, especially in regards to media and how the media is gagged and controlled. You see the way Yoweri Museveni gagged social media in Uganda for the elections, declared a winner and all that. Those are the things we have to worry about in Africa. Now in Kenya, if you want to continue in this trajectory, like honestly, I feel for Edgar. Like, as much as he has been chaotic, to other people, and things have happened here and there, I would never wish the worst upon anyone in Kenya, in this country, because we know how this country sometimes, does not appreciate its own people. So whether good or bad, like the due process of the law should be followed. And I feel like sometimes now, not sometimes, most of the time, the politicians always overstep and they want to, punish people and, Muto is very petty because using the complaint at the vice president alimfinya mkono akimwambia wewe nitadeal na wewe. I was like, who does that? And then now you're doing the same to a blogger. Unanyanyasa mtu mwingine venye ulinyanyaswa. Come on now. Let's just be honest here. Okay, and this is information that's in the public domain. Don't come for me. Okay. This is information that is in the public domain, and we should be able to talk about it and talk about it critically. All right. So thank you guys for being part of this live broadcast. To everybody who has continued to support this channel, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Now on we were 28. Thank you for liking this video. Remember to like this video and leave a comment later on. I'm so grateful for your time today. It's been amazing, for you guys driving this show. But then you guys have driven this show and I've truly appreciated it. Kina, oh my God, I can see Dennis Omondi here. I hope Edgar left some tea for himself. Police cells who are Nabaridi's son. Brenda, I am always very careful. It's good I actually went to school. I went to school for this, so I actually know how to be careful and what to talk about. Akode is somewhere enjoying Hanyuka. Black Diva saying you're right. Tekla, we need to nominate Richie, our new team has said. Okay, you guys are going to be messy. Okay, you guys want to start being messy. Brenda, come on, be serious. Umi, whomst are we? Then somebody says, I hope Edgar left some tea for himself. Thank you, Janice, for being here. Police also want to sana. Akode somewhere enjoying Hanyuka. Akitoni, you guys are enjoying this, right? Like Richie promises that you'll be careful too. Kenya is just a mess. Yes, it is. It is a mess. It's our country. We love it and we love the people in it. But unfortunately, the only people who let us down are our institutions, like the police. People who are supposed to be utumishi kwa wote choose to be very selective with, how they do their work. All right. Brenda Tekla said she's the next Obare. Tekla is taking the teenage crowd. Oh my God. Truly appreciate you guys for being here. If you haven't liked this video, please go down there, like the video. Just talk up my live chat, like the video down there. I can see 29 people watching. Go and like the video and leave a comment once this video is ended. Like, I'm so grateful for you guys participating on this live broadcast. Like, this is really good and really entertaining. Brenda, Nancy Wendo, Dennis, Tony Nzomo, Tekla Clay, Black Diva, Umi, Achieng, Faiz. Thank you guys so much for being here. Regina Mugo, Asanteni Sana for your time. Thank you for being here, for participating on this live. It is. I wish we could do more lives like this where you could drive the conversation, because people are actually so hilarious. Tekla Clay, Nimekuana Sana, New Wineskin, Nora Achaira. Thank you guys so much for being here. If I could mention all of you, I would. Thank you guys. Asanteni Sana. Parenting Abroad, could never forget you. Miss Grace Manasseh, asante for being here as well. Thank you to my YouTube family, my IG family, for constantly supporting this channel and this platform. I truly appreciate each one and every one of you. Okay, I have repeated myself there, but anyway, who cares? Let me sip my tea as I continue. The wonderful cocktail. Okay. But thank you guys so much. What was McKenna? It's true. We care for Richie. Oh, Makina, thank you so much. Every time she mentions Tanasha, she is propelled to stardom. Tony, McKenna, it's true. We care for Richie. Take care too. Brenda and Nancy have been very funny today. I forgot what to Masipan. Oh my God, you guys are shady, but I love the fact that you drove the conversation today. I'm really truly grateful for your support. If you haven't liked this video, please like it as well. Take care wherever you are, and to all the bloggers out there, I would like to implore you, please know your environment and know your surroundings. If you're in Kenya, just be careful about your associations, and anybody who brings you information, please be keen to verify it 10 times over so that you ensure it's airtight. Even if it's presented in court, it's something that can hold water. All right. I'm so grateful to you guys. Ben and I are here with placards and bail money. Tekla, go forth and conquer, Nancy Wendo is saying that. So thank you guys so much for appreciating and supporting me here today. Do like this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and share with your community. Tell them it does great, amazing content, does great lives. Do you know it's very hard for someone to come and talk to you here for an hour, 30 minutes? Not many people can do that, okay, and be constructive and objective, equally subjective at times as well, for 1 hour, 30 minutes. And imagine, just be here and enjoy a time with you. It's very, very, very hard. Okay, this content thing is not easy. So if you see sometimes Edgar Obare just posting screenshots, best believe talking like this is not for everyone, and not everyone can be talented to communicate like this to you and be able to drive a conversation and you enjoy it. So support your content creators. It's equally very good and very appreciated. It was nice and beautiful. Thank you so much, Nancy Wendo. Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much, McKenna. Thank you so much, Tekla Clay. Tekla Clay anasema tusiende. See, lazima niende ndio next time nikisema nakuja live murudi tena, I love you guys and I appreciate and support you. Tony Nzomo, thank you so much for supporting. Kila mtu mwenye alikuwa keyboard warrior leo, kina Brenda na Brenda alisema nenda kwa keyboard warrior leo, asante sana, nimeshukuru. Thank you so much. Like, this has been lively, it has been amazing, it has been good. Like, you guys are the best. Okay, it's been 30 plus people watching. Amazing. Thank you so much. We grow from here. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel, which he does amazing content. He's not casting anyone to the jugular, he's just throwing a little bit of shade, but he's a good person. Oh, I love this comment by Umi. Umi says, thanks for always hosting interactivity. It's good to interact with people. When you get their perspective, it makes your content livelier, okay? As opposed to me just doing the narration and showing you pictures and videos. Sometimes it's also good, important, and it's very, very, nice, but it's very important. Right now, should be heading a direction where interactive content is propelled further ahead. Okay, so thank you guys for being interactive with me. Nashukuru sana. You know, no, don't review that comment. I approve the comment. Faiz is saying the government is censoring bloggers and they're making Edgar to be the lesson to any current or upcoming bloggers. In short, they're telling bloggers, stay in your lane and shut up. And so I was recovering from your comment of AIDS and STDs. It was amazing, Black Diva. Thank you so much, Penina. You guys have been amazing. Like, you guys are the freaking best. I love it. So, by the way, if you're on IG, please take a screenshot of this particular live. Post it on your IG story, tag me, share it with your community. Let me know how it was there as well. So take a screenshot, tag your community, tag me as well. I will repost it. Let me know how you enjoyed this interactive session, so we have more of this in the future going in. We had a live yesterday, which was very amazing. And then we had a live today that was interactive and driven by you guys who are my YouTube family. So thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. I think my went by first listening to this. Girls, tag me next time Richie is online. Oh, thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. Like I said, this creating content business is not very easy. We put a lot of time, effort, and machinery into making sure, like, when we deliver, especially a live show to you guys, it's very good, very engaging, and very interactive, like today's show. So if you haven't liked the video, please like it, subscribe it. My name is Richie Roger. I am a lifestyle, pop culture, entertainment, travel enthusiast. This is my platform where we'll speak about all things nice and spice. All right, to everyone who participated today, I am so grateful. Share this with your community. Like I said, a screenshot with your story, only tag. Let me know how it was. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself as well. It's been amazing, an amazing 1 hour. And hopefully I see you again next time. Remember to leave a comment after. Please leave a comment after this. Just let me know how it was. I truly appreciate the interaction. Okay, Biamoja kwa biliangu to all the keyboard warriors. Tekla Clay says. You guys have been so amazing. Asante sana. May God bless you abundantly. Have an amazing weekend. See you next week, guys, on Instagram. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you.